There's nothing quite like a classic. Enjoy the simplicity of a margherita pizza fresh from your own oven. Welcome to Lawyer in the Kitchen. Today we're gonna make oven-baked margherita pizza. This is gonna be so good, so cheesy, so tasty, and we're making most everything ourselves. We're gonna make the sauce that we're not gonna cook. We're just gonna combine these ingredients, and those ingredients are some tomato sauce, about 15 ounces, 16 ounces of tomato paste, about a half teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of oregano, sorry, get this wrong. And we got about a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And for the very top, we're going to put some basil, which is the green for the pizza. The red is the tomato, and the white is the mozzarella. And we are gonna use obviously some olive oil. And that is, and some dough. Now, I have a video that shows you how to make the easiest, incredibly easy to make homemade pizza dough that's ready to use. You don't have to let it proof or sit overnight or sit in an oven. It's very easy. So go to that video if you want to know how to do this. This I just bought at the store. We're just going to try that because the main thing is to make our own sauce today. All right, so if you have a pizza stone, and you can see this one's been used a bit. This is one of the smaller ones, but we're not gonna make this that big. This is about a ½ inch thick. You can get them up to about 3/4 of an inch thick and much bigger than this, 14 inch, 18 inch. This is good enough. Now, if you don't have a pizza stone, you can turn a sheet pan over and put some parchment on it. I am gonna put parchment on this. In fact, I've already got it cut out, close enough. But we are going to preheat this. Now, if you don't have one of these boards to put your pizza on, to put the pizza on the stone that is preheated, then don't put your pizza stone in the oven. Wait and put your pizza on this and then put the whole thing in the oven. But we're going to get this one warmed up at 500 degrees. We're going to start off with the 15 ounces of pizza sauce, tomato sauce. It's going to become pizza sauce. And what's interesting about this recipe is you just don't cook anything. You don't need to. It's gonna cook in the oven on the pizza. All right, so there's that. 6 ounces, this is a lot of tomato paste for a recipe. Then the other ingredients are ½ teaspoon of salt, our quarter teaspoon of pepper, our teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. And we're just gonna let this mix. Meanwhile, our oven's on at 500. Preheating. All right, this is nicely mixed. All right, that's ready to go. Topping's ready to go. I've cut the tomatoes pretty thin, less than 1/8 of an inch. All right, so we need some all-purpose flour. This is in this bag now because, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I dropped the bag where it fell down. I can't remember what happened to it exactly.
Oh, is that the bag that impaled itself on a...
Yeah, on a bottle. There was a bottle of, I think it was, yeah, there was a bottle of peppermint something. Well, it wasn't a bottle of water. So that's what's wrong with that.
Well,
anyhow.
I thought it was a bottle of Perrier, but I wasn't going to...
Oh, no. It was absolutely a bottle of peppermint vodka. All right, so this isn't too hard. I've had this sitting out for a little while. This stretches a little bit. And our oven, we've already heard the sound go off. It's at 500. And we don't want to make this too big because our pizza stone is not that big. All right, so this is pretty good. Now we got some bubbles in here, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. How margherita pizza gets its name is pretty darn interesting. The best story, and the one that I had always heard, is that in the late 1800s, Queen Margherita of Savoy was visiting Naples, Italy, where Raphael Esposito made a few pizzas for the Queen. She preferred the pizza that had the colors of the Italian flag: red, the tomatoes; white, the mozzarella; and green, the basil. So Esposito named the pizza after the Queen. The other story is that the pizza was being made in Naples years before Queen Margherita visited. Margherita comes from the daisy flower, and the pizza crust was in the shape of a flower, thus the Margherita pizza. However it came to be known, our Margherita pizza is simple and delicious and made in the oven. I'm just going to go ahead and hit this thing a few times so it doesn't puff up quite as much. We're going to put this on our board. Put a little flour. You could use cornmeal, but we don't have any. Sharon's sister gave us a 5-pound bag of cornmeal, which...
Well, that came from her friend Kelly. She wanted you to have it.
Okay, oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going on here. I am going to put a little oil. Yeah, I didn't forget. Started to. This is kind of how I've always done it. And it's time to put this, and this sauce looks good. It's had time to sit a little bit. Let's see what that gets us. We don't want it horribly thick. This is honestly probably plenty of sauce right there. There's enough to make 5 or 6 pizzas in that recipe. All right, that's pretty evenly dispersed, I would say. Now we're gonna put the basil on at the end. And we're gonna put these in about 1-inch chunks. This is fresh mozzarella. If you can get it in a ball that's about 1 inch, that's perfect. They seem to either come in too big or too small. Where else do we need one? Right here. Yeah, you're right. And then we'll put the green on it after we cook it. We'll put the basil on at the end. All right, so we are ready to put this in the oven. I'm gonna put the parchment on the, if I can find it, pizza stone. And sometimes you may want to get a pair of tongs to help scoot this along a little bit. And I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, besides make a mess. I'll go ahead and bring this out. And that is it. All right, about 12 to 15 minutes. We'll check the bottom. All right, so this has been about 11 minutes, but it looks just right. So I'm gonna pull it on the parchment and then pull it on up here. And then from here, we're gonna put it on the cutting board. Oh, we might just, well, no, we're gonna cut it right here. All right. All right, so we're gonna put some basil on it. And then we have all the colors that we need. You could put the basil on when you cook it, but it'll burn unless you cover it in olive oil. I think that's good right there. What do you think? And then a little bit of olive oil. Just a little drizzle here. And I would say there's our Margherita pizza. All right, we're ready to try a piece of our Margherita pizza. All right, just gonna come barreling through here. Here's a nice small piece. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I'll tell you what, ain't nothing like homemade pizza. You gotta try this at home. Simple to make, easy to do. This tastes great and it's right out of the oven. I mean, look at this steaming. You can't get closer to out of the oven. I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. That helps my channel. Tell me where you're from. Make a comment. Critical if it's okay. You can say whatever you want. I will respond to you. And I will see you next time on
While you're in the kitchen.